Well, yeah, man. All along we've thought our best team is Carlos Gonzalez being Carlos Gonzalez, no doubt about it, and hitting in the middle of the lineup, with Nolan, 3-4, whatever that combination is, and whatever guys we put around those two. That was the intention, right? And Carlos got off to a tough start, but he's really hung in there mentally. He's worked hard the entire season, trying to find his groove, and hopefully now where we are, arguably the most important month of the year, based on where we are. If he finds his swing and finds his groove, that's a great thing for the Rockies.
Buddy, we've talked about it a lot. When did you really first see signs of CarGo coming?
I don't know the exact date, Patrick, but I think about 2 weeks ago, I think all of us, meaning the coaching staff and I, saw some swings during the course of games that led us to believe that he was getting closer. He was, the ball away from him, he was hammering to right, to left. The soft stuff, he was staying back and hammering it to right. He was getting to inside fastballs. He was taking borderline pitches that earlier in the year he was swinging at. His selectivity improved. The walk totals came up. The hard hit balls started to happen. And I think really that happened in earnest about 2 weeks ago.
John Gray was at times overpowering.
John Gray, I thought, all night long from his first pitch to his last was at times overpowering. I thought he had a great fastball tonight, hard slider to both sides of the plate, mixed in the curveball. So a three-pitch mix of really powerful right-handed stuff. John's a big boy. He's from Oklahoma, and he turns it loose. It was great to see. I think, John's confidence is growing. Again, I think with every outing, and an outing like tonight, that should really thrust John forward. He's still, in my opinion, he's still a growing, developing young pitcher. So, but that was really a good one to see tonight for sure.
What about his performance in the third inning, where after the had some trouble, then the sacrificial lamb, then the line drive double play to get out of there?
Yep.
The lamb.
Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Did I hear that right?
No,
Really?
He's stuck in it.
He's a comedian, isn't he, this fella?
Only after a win.
I've lost.
Bases loaded, no outs, and he minimized it to one run. That's something we've talked about with John. Man, geez.
Hard to answer that.
Come on, man. Not really. I saw, yeah, man. Thomas, little levity. Come on, Tom.
That was a
Yeah.
broken bat.
Hey, here's the deal. Bases loaded, no outs. One run, minimize the damage. That's something, again, we've talked to John about. I mentioned, I think earlier, at some point the last day or two, about his ability to get out of jams, to work your way out of it. That's what good pitchers do. And I think earlier in the year, his first few starts of the season, had a little difficulty. First few outings back had a little difficulty, but tonight is another good sign. It's a process that John's going through each and every start. But that was, we needed that for sure. I mean, the momentum flipped to them, and he held them at bay, and kept it at a 2-2 game where it could have got a lot worse.
Laura took a couple of hits away.
Yeah, Parra played great defense. Going back over the shoulder a couple times, tremendous defense. He's a good left fielder. I think he won 2 Gold Gloves here, right, or at least one, right? I think he won 2. Yeah, so that that bears that out. But Diamondbacks made some nice plays in the outfield too. We had some balls on the nose, and they made some plays, but Parra was outstanding in left field for sure.
What was the problem with CarGo, especially early in the season?
Well, there wasn't one specific thing, Barry. I think it was a collection of things. I think, he got off to a slow start, and I think in his haste to try to play catch-up, he was expanding the zone, trying to get hits. I think his swing got big, trying to hit for power. And it just sort of compounded itself, and he really couldn't dig himself out. We've had, a lot of conversations, he and I, The hitting coaches in Carlos, I mean, but think about it, like I said, Carlos has maintained, a great level of conviction in who he is as a player. And like I said, we knew all along that we needed CarGo to be CarGo if we were going to be the team we're to be. But, he made a change about, I would say, about 7 weeks ago on, some mechanical changes. I think he's made some subtle changes here lately. But it's more about pitch selection. It's more about hitting the ball where it's pitched. It's more about swinging at strikes, taking balls. If you look at early video of CarGo, there was a lot of expansion of the hitting area. I mean, he was swinging at balls in the dirt, elevated fastballs, balls in, balls away. And I think he just tightened things up. And when you start to see results by doing that, it builds confidence. And I think, he's in a good spot now. I mean, we'll see. That's why we play tomorrow and the next day. But, what we're seeing now is the Carlos Gonzalez that we all know.
This is Milwaukee, right? So do you think that's anything to it? I mean, 2 years ago, Ian Desmond had a horrible year in his Milwaukee year. He could never get it going.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. Probably a better question for him. But, I mean, I think you said it, that it's possible that, this happens to players.
How about the development of Scott Oberg has really helped you in those nights, like maybe
that was good to see again. The last 5, 6, 7 outings, it's been pretty crisp. He's thrown the ball really well. I think there's a growing confidence when you throw the ball well and get results. I think your mindset becomes more aggressive. I think your ability to pound the strike zone becomes a little bit more it becomes a little bit more of a pattern. And we're seeing Scott much better first pitch strikes, early count outs, getting after hitters with stuff in the hitting area. And when you're throwing, in the mid to upper 90s with a hard slider, you should get success when the ball's moving like his does. So he's in a good spot too.
Arenado helped you with the glove tonight. Last night it was with the bat.
Yep, he's a good all-around player. Obviously we've talked about that at length over the course of his career and a lot this year. But he's the best defender that I've seen in my time in professional baseball.